Hey, Bobby Manning here. We're going to get game 2 going between the Celtics and Heat. We're going to preview it live from South Beach. Josue Pavon, Bobby Manning, taking the hat off. Going to let you see the full extent of the sun out here. Haven't done sunscreen yet, so we'll keep this quick. We're going to need to apply that very quickly.
We're going to see how red you look after game 2.
6 minutes into the video, we'll see. You can do a before at the 1 minute mark and an after at the 6 minute mark.
Right. And
watch the transformation. Hopefully the Celtics are in for a transformation too tomorrow. Yeah, practice today. Ime Udoka out with a non-COVID illness, an ominous start to practice after an ominous first day here in Miami as a whole. Al Horford going into COVID protocol. Marcus Smart, the recovery not working out there. As we said in our previous video, Marcus Smart probable for game 2. Celtics had Daniel Tice, Robert Williams talk today, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. We heard from them at Heat practice at the arena, and it all sets the stage on what the Heat are expecting to be a fiery return from the Celtics, a response to what they went through in Game 1. We've seen that 3-0, as you mentioned yesterday, after losses in this postseason, so the Celtics have been known to respond, adjust, and bounce back. What do you think is going to be the biggest key for them to be able to do it again?
Keep moving that ball around, right? I think Marcus helps with a lot of that. Defense is also a big part of it because of what Miami was able to do in that third quarter. I mean, they almost scored 40 points in that third quarter alone. You have to make sure that they never even think about doing something like that again. So the Celtics have to send a message on that end defensively. But offensively, I say keep the ball flowing. You know, get guys their open looks. Try to get Jaylen Brown going, getting him into attack mode early on. I feel like that's been a pattern throughout his game. We saw it a little bit in Game 1, but in the second half, he just really went ice cold, and the Celtics have to try to do the best they can to sort of free him up. You know, we got a chance to speak to after Celtics practice, even though Ime wasn't available, hearing what Daniel Tice had to say about setting hard screens, getting these guys better looks, open looks. I think they clean it up. I think film study is going to help in a big way. The return of Marcus Smart helps, of course. But you know, it's interesting, Bobby. Finding out the news about Ime, I can't help but wonder if something like this is going to happen again throughout the course of this best-of-7 series on either side, right? Whether it's a Miami Heat player, another player from the Boston Celtics. I mean, remember John was talking about how Miami can be a home court advantage on and off the court. I wish he added a COVID-19 spin to that, because I don't think that's what he had in mind. I think he just meant guys having the itch to go out and explore and maybe staying out late. Now it's a matter of, no, you guys have to stick together and stay isolated at this point, because God forbid if anybody else in this roster has to enter safety protocol, that could cost you the series. And I think for this to happen before Game 1, in between Game 1 and Game 2, you got your head coach unavailable. You know, I think that's the message that the Celtics should receive in a big way, and try to keep to themselves and just stay isolated as much as possible throughout the course of the series.
That's a good idea for us too. We should probably be heeding that example.
I got my mask over here. We both got our mask.
Yeah, it's a huge factor here, and I believe the Heat were one of those teams that were fully vaccinated at some point in the season there, so that wasn't a concern for them playing the Raptors round 1. We were having that discussion there. So they're better suited to avoid this, you would think. Right. Just knowing that alone, regardless of what the Celtics status is from that angle. On the Boston end, however, you do worry about spread within the team. You know, contact. Al Horford was at shoot-around yesterday, so if he did test positive, you do worry about maybe others following suit there. That's a worst-case scenario that would really send the series in a disastrous direction. Eric Spoelstra talked today wishing that he was facing a healthy Celtics team. He doesn't want to face Horford out and Smart out. This is what he had to say at Heat practice today.
It's like every single time we think, like, all right, this is kind of getting behind us. It's not, and it's frustrating, you know, for all of us. And, you don't want to see it on either side. You want to play, against their best and try to beat their best with our best. It's just not the world we're living in right now. And it's really been 3 years of this.
Yeah, so understood. You do want to face a healthy team. I think that's always the approach that you want to have. You want to play the best, face the best. And that's a good perspective from him there. I would say this though. If you're the Celtics, you got to do a better job of digging deeper in your bench and getting some contributions there, because the Heat are missing a guy too, Kyle Lowry. And you get a great game from Gabe Vincent, 3 blocks in the first 3 quarters there, a huge three-pointer, as well as some facilitation from him. Max Strus, huge breakout dunk, 3-pointer off a handoff. That's stuff you just didn't get from Aaron Nesmith. And Peyton Pritchard started hot early, but faded late. So Smart coming back, cuts out his minutes a little bit, good to see. but you're going to need some from Grant Williams and Daniel Tice, as you mentioned, to pick up the slack for Horford.
Yeah, Grant Williams didn't have a great game in game one, but at least in this way, going into game two, Marcus won't be the guy on his feet trying to give these guys tips, during timeouts. He's going to be actually in uniform and out there. So I think that's a big addition for the Celtics in this one. Someone like Aaron Nesmith and the other guys like Peyton Pritchard, it's going to be interesting to see. Well, maybe you won't see as much as Nesmith, but someone like Pritchard, if you can keep this going, keep that momentum, whether it's scoring 14, 15 points, hitting down a couple of threes, keeping the defense on their heels a bit. I think all of that is relevant. And of course, we've talked about it throughout the course of the postseason. Derek White, what does he do to the series? I think he's a bit of a wild card for the Miami Heat. I mean, does he get hot a little bit? Does he get his offense going? It'll be interesting to see what they do. But with Ime game planning in this one, I'm sure we're going to see a very different approach in game two than what we saw in game one.
Yeah, availability, big factor in this one. The Heat just seem a little more suited if they are missing some guys to have others step up. That's been the story of their season. That's why they're the 1 seed here, and they are now the favorites of 1-0 in this series, at least on the books. We'll see what happens when the Celtics get back out there. They can even the series, steal home court advantage in game 2. Check us out, CLNS Media, shoot-around coverage, pregame, throughout the game, and after, of course, on Celtics postgame.
Got you covered.
We're going to go hit the beach and then get back to work tomorrow. CLNS Media, Celtics All Access. Go subscribe there. Go check out com.com/garden. 40% off a premium subscription. Going to help you out through the stressful nature of what's going to be a very tight contested series if the Celtics going to compete in it at this point. HelloFresh.com, they'll feed you throughout the series. Tacos, spaghetti and chicken, meatloaf. We've tried all of that. Jimmy's got some good recommendations too. Go check out last night's post game. HelloFresh.com/playoff 16. That's 16 free meals, 3 free gifts. Get it all there. HelloFresh.com/playoff 16. For Josue Pavon, Bobby Manning, live from South Beach, Miami, Florida. We'll be back for Game 2 coverage tomorrow on CLNS Media.